Welcome back, everybody, to another episode here. We've got another good discussion coming your guys' way. I think, how are you doing? Again.
Pretty good, yeah, pretty good.
Good. I'm still here in Iceland. We're still in our Airbnb.
Yep.
We've got another conversation that we wanted to talk about some of our favorite musicians and inspirations, I guess, in the industry that have kind of like led us into this path that we have kind of both fell into. I think it's really cool. I think we have some crossover like that musicians that we both like are really inspired by, which is cool. So I think we're going to kind of discover that tonight. Mm-hmm. So I think maybe like you share one, I'll share one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Something that has had a lot of influence on how I write my melodies and like, I guess just songs in general. It's not even an artist. It's the music from movies like Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings and the music in Zelda was a big one. Like I used to just listen to the score from Harry Potter on repeat.
Oh, that's so cool.
I had this job when I was, I don't know, like 15, where I was cutting people's grass, and I remember just having Harry Potter, like the music from Harry Potter playing on repeat while working, and it was nice. And so like that was right when I was starting to make, music as well.
Yeah.
So that like played a big part in like how I make melodies and stuff like that.
Interesting. Would you do an Ouse soundtrack for a movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like my dream for like ever. Yeah.
Yeah, that's super sick. So is there like, would you say there's similar, I know the Harry Potter music because I love Harry Potter, not as much as you, but I did not play or like really listen to Zelda. I was not into that. Is there any similarities between those two soundtracks?
I don't know if it's similarities. I mean, they're all just like very, like feel good, like gives you like a musical orgasm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like, I don't know, there's
beautiful.
just some melodies that just like stick with you. And like for Zelda games, for example, they had to make melodies that, sounded like that you wouldn't forget because they didn't have a lot of space, so they didn't have like big files that they could make of music. They just had like these like the single notes and like stuff like that. So they had to work with that, and I feel like it just created these like super unique melodies and stuff like that I find so amazing.
Yeah, that's really, really cool. I knew that you liked soundtracks and stuff like that, and we've talked about having your stuff go on soundtracks, but it's fascinating because that's a whole like world. That's a whole other world of the industry. That's like really cool. I agree. I mean, from like Wes and I's knowledge from back in film school, like sound design and choosing the right music is like the most important thing. Yeah. Because it can completely change an entire scene, and how, like you said, the emotion that you get from it's like the cherry on top to movies. So that's really cool. Yeah. I think what's funny is for like one of my favorite, I should say they are my favorite band. It's the Lumineers, which I've told you about, but I'm obsessed with the Lumineers. A lot of people know that about me, but there's some weird, what's funny is they just did a visual album, which like really, really has inspired me a lot with a crossover from like my production side to music side. So the whole Lumineers album is literally like episode by episode is a story that's being told about their like family, or this family that's like all lives in this house, and it's just like word for word, and it's beautifully shot, and their music just is very like soundtracky. It's cool to just kind of like dive into it and be able to just like embrace this like story. They write a lot of stories about like people in their lives, so they'll just name it like Darlene or like Gloria, and they'll like make the song like just fully about that person. It's cool. It kind of really just like paints you a cinematic image for it.
Nice. Yeah, I definitely got to check that out.
Yeah. I'm sure you've heard of like the Ho Hey song. Have you heard of that one?
Yeah, I think so.
It was like, that was like the really mainstream one back in the day that like got me into it. But yeah, they're like, it's just funny how, cause like their first album is my favorite album out of all, which I feel like a lot of people say about, like, I don't know if you have like artists and like their first album is, maybe it's cause like they're at their, almost like their rawest.
Yeah.
But anyways, their first one is like, I don't want to say it's completely different than their others, but you can just kind of sense like the raw, like really cut back production to it that just like, it's so simple and like perfectly written and everything. So yeah, that's mine. Back to you.
Okay. There are a few, in terms of artists that I usually, I'm attracted to, like artists that do like very diverse stuff.
Right.
And artists, when I listen to an artist, I want to hear like the direct translation of emotions, like just with no filter. Like today, there's so many like grids that we follow. Mm-hmm. You want to make music, like what gets in the radio, what they play on Spotify playlists, stuff like that. So when I hear songs that are like, I can tell that they don't care about that stuff and they just want to make like the perfect, song. Yeah. That's when I'm like, okay, like this is a real one. And I feel like that for Young Lean. Okay. Yeah. I think he's like, I don't know, there's just something about him that's so raw. Yeah. And just like, you can just, I don't know, it's really hard to explain, but like, there's like no filters. Yeah. Like it's just him. Just, no boundaries. Like, in the studio, just chilling with his homies, Yeah. It's and I get that his music isn't like, except that one song, Red Bottom Skies, that got really big. Yeah. Like most of his songs aren't like, they don't sound like a mainstream song. Like they just sound like him. And I don't know, so Young Lean really inspired me alongside like other artists. But yeah. That's cool. Is that your favorite Young Lean song? My favorite Young Lean song is probably what's that song name? I can't remember the name. Hold on, let me.
Yeah, he's cool. He's really cool. His music is, I mean, would you compare not his music, but like just breaking boundaries in general? Like I know X, broke a ton of boundaries. Yeah, which is just really cool.
Yeah, X was a big one as well. Yeah. He was like, I think I started listening to him before I started listening to Young Lean a lot. So he was like the one that kind of introduced me to this style of music, like just like not giving a shit, like just doing whatever you feel like. And yeah, he was definitely a big one and a big reason why I do my music like that. Like I just do every type of music I want to make,
No, I think it shouldn't sound different, It's like why can't people just make whatever they want to make?
Yeah, exactly.
So that's cool. So Young Lean. Yeah. That's awesome. Mm-hmm. So mine, kind of going off, well, we don't want to put Young Lean in a box, but mine's Eminem. Eminem was probably the first real like artist that I ever, as weird as it sounds, was like brought into, I guess. I think my dad had got my sister Curtain Calls CD, and she would put it in, and I would just be in the back seat, like listening. And that is like one of my, it's probably top 3 favorite albums ever. Yeah. And but like what was weird is at that age I didn't even have the brain skills to process all the cruel, rude shit that he says in it. But like what it did process was just his writing paints this just insane story that a 6-year-old could pick up on the fact that, like, not 6, whatever age I was, could pick up on the fact that some story was being told. And I would, all the, you know, kind of weird stuff would kind of just go over my head, but I could still kind of paint a picture of it.
Yeah.
And the fact that he could do that and rap just so fast, she was just insane. Everything about his stuff was just crazy.
Yeah.
And what's weird is that I know like his song, you know, Not Afraid got because it was kind of more like mainstream Eminem.
Yeah.
And like that was when he was coming back with Recovery and everything. But what's weird is I felt like that was the time in my life that I actually started giving a shit about music, like a lot. And when I heard Not Afraid, I was going nuts. I bought a poster, and I had the poster in my room hanging up, so every day when I would leave, I would see it, and it would be like him like going like not Afraid. And I was like, yeah, like Not Afraid today.
Nice,
it's like my pump up song and everything.
Yeah.
And my favorite song of all time is Lose Yourself, of all time. That
Damn.
is, I think because like growing up playing like a lot of sports and stuff, it's like in the US considered like one of the top pump up songs. Like you would listen to it before you would go out and play. And the match of him being my favorite artist and him having that song was like, I felt invincible. It was just so,
Yeah, Eminem is just so, I don't know. He just had so many good songs. Like it was crazy how many. Like 10 good songs. Like okay, it's a great artist, and he has like 50. It's insane.
Yeah, and yes, like his stuff was all like hip hop rap, but he broke the boundaries in the rap game with like, I mean, he had, you know, little skits and stuff in between, and just wild voices that you know, he would do, and all different characters and stuff, and he just like, that's just what I like. His creativity with it was just another level. And I think like, I don't know, for you, like I sometimes can like see like you painting some type of picture with your words and stuff that's like similar. It's cool. So, all right, back to you. Number 3.
I mean, I did mention X earlier, so I like just want to mention him again because he was like, I remember the first song I ever recorded was in Icelandic. I remember I was in school listening to Vice City by X. It's like one of his first ones. Like it sounds like it was so raw. It just sounds like he recorded on a laptop or something. And I was listening to it, and I was just like, I just want to, like, if he can do that with this shitty sound quality, then I can do whatever, you know. So I grabbed my mic. It was like a $5 microphone that I got like somewhere, and my laptop. And after school, I was just listening to that song on repeat. After school, I went. So I told you earlier there was like there's a hill like right next to my house. Right. I went up there. There's like a forest, and I went into the forest, and I recorded this song. Just like I wrote everything just there. I just sat down in the trees. Wow. And, like wrote a song, and that was the first thing I ever recorded.
Wow.
And it was on the Vice City beat. So I found the beat.
Okay.
But it wasn't like I wasn't saying the same words as he was. I made my own melodies and all that stuff. It was just on the same beat.
Wow. Yeah. Do you know what you called it?
I don't remember. I don't remember anything about that song, and sadly, it's gone. I can't listen to it. Yeah.
Damn.
It sucks.
But let's talk. I'm curious. Like, what age did you say you were? Like 16?
Yeah, I want to say 16. Yeah.
So, how was the writing process for that? Like, you know, we're talking about writers like Eminem and stuff. Like, at that age, you know, 16, what you had never recorded a song. So I'm trying to think.
So by that time, I had already started writing lyrics, just never like rapped or like did anything myself. Because I started getting into music because I was making beats for my friends. Right. So they were rapping, and I don't know. I always just like thought like, why shouldn't I be able to do this as well? Because like I knew how to make this, like knew how to do everything on the program, and they didn't. Yeah. So I was like, okay, but
yeah, like why not?
Yeah. So fuck it, and I started writing like while they were writing their own stuff, but I would never like, because I was so shy, I would just write it on my own and not tell anyone about it. And then I made this song and I showed like some people, and they were like, "What? This is you?" Like they were so shocked because like I don't know, I've always just been very like shy and like didn't talk much and like stuff like that. So when they hear me like aggressively rapping on a
Right.
song, it's like kind of
It brings it out of you.
crazy. Yeah, a lot of people didn't believe it at first. But yeah.
That's sick. That's when you know it's good. You know?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. I mean, man, there's a lot. That's like, it seems like that was like the spark, right?
Yeah.
Like that initiated the rest
Yeah,
from there.
I mean, it did happen for like a few years.
Right.
Because like I was always into making like piano songs. Like I was making songs on piano. But yeah, that was like the start of like me using my voice and my words.
Right. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a huge, huge story. So you got to thank X for that, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
that song kind of gave you that spark to think of that.
Yeah, and just a
I can
lot
do
of his
this.
songs, you know.
Yeah.
It was just like, it's because, you know, he was doing these songs on like the terrible equipment that he had, and they still sounded so nice and just like so good.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's awesome.
Definitely inspired a lot.
That's cool. Yeah, that's how it was for like, I would relate like that first initial spark to music to like Eminem, but then I feel like it slowly progressed into Ed Sheeran and John Bellion. Those two, massive, and they still are today. Like Ed Sheeran's like, he's nasty. He's so good. He's so good. I mean, that guy is incredible. Whether people think he's like, you know, cheesy or what, writes cheesy love songs, like it does not matter. That guy is just incredibly gifted. And so his writing, and what I love is making all these connections, is Ed Sheeran was heavily inspired by Eminem, which is just cool, you know? And then when you think about that, you're like, yeah, Ed loves to break down into raps.
Yeah, true.
He goes into it. And you like to do it too. You sometimes break into it.
Yeah,
and when I hear that, I'm like, yeah, like that's like that little inspiration. So I love when Ed does that randomly, because you can tell he's like, I just want to rap this part. And then he'll go into just some crazy chorus. But yeah, and then John Bellion, he's probably my newest favorite inspiration, like the last couple of years. But what I really love about him is like, he has some documentaries about the making of his songs that are so cool, and you can just immediately tell how serious he takes it, and how passionate he is, which is inspiring. And then he comes out with music that does not sound like anybody else's, you know? So there's that ball of like the Young Lean thing. It's like, that dude will make the craziest beats, and he's kind of like, I feel like, you know, if I were to make comparisons, like you have a lot of strong qualities that he shares, which is like beat making, you know, and then out of the box beat making, like things like that break the boundaries, and he does it. And then at the same time, one of his biggest inspirations, Eminem. So it's really
all comes back to him.
Exactly. It comes back. So it's really cool how that kind of works out.
Yeah.
Like that and I didn't get into Ed Sheeran because of Eminem. I didn't get into they could be so far different. So yeah, I think like it's just cool, and then seeing like the work that John puts in for his like music kind of like inspires me in terms of just like any type of work, because he's like, it's very delicate to him. It's very personal. And I kind of like that. Like it inspires me, where it's like, I want to take my art that serious too. So yeah, that's my third and fourth. You know, I gave it a little duo there. Yeah. But that's cool. So I know, like, were you also a Juice fan? Yeah. Yeah. And anybody else that like you think like, because we kind of listed some. I mean, I wouldn't say Young Lean is really mainstream, so that was definitely out of the box. But like outside of that, you know, we kind of listed some like mainstream. Are there any musicians or artists that are not really mainstream that you are inspired by, that not many people would know about? Because I feel like that's also really cool.
I mean, Dominic Fike.
Yeah.
A huge fan. I'm a huge fan. Yeah. He's one of those guys as well that just does whatever and like does it on. I mean, his first or the demos album. It's like it doesn't sound like it's in like any studio environment. Like it just sounds like a raw ass laptop. Like you know, and that's also what I really like about that. But then the second album is just like he gets to shine so much. Like he gets all this equipment and all this like money to make this album, and it's just you can tell that he like just has this crazy talent, dude.
Right.
He just like he was just unleashed on this album.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's definitely like one of my all-time favorite albums ever.
That's sick.
Yeah.
That's really, really cool. Do you have a favorite song by him?
Probably Politics and
Yeah.
Violence.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a really nice one. They're just almost everyone is my favorite.
That's
play
sick.
I just shuffle play and just listen to everything.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Yeah, the first time I heard him was, well, I had heard 3 Nights. What happened is, at least from my knowledge, I think it was Kylie Jenner posted 3 Nights on her like Instagram story. And I could be wrong here. That might not have actually triggered the whole wave, but I know for a fact that it triggered a massive wave of people to then go download. And then I'm pretty positive he got like signed. Because I think she like posted it when it was on his SoundCloud or something.
Oh, damn.
And yeah, like blew up. I could be wrong, but if it's right, hey, then I think that's what it is. But yeah, that's how at least I had heard of him.
Yeah.
Because I saw that it was trending, that she had posted it, and that's how he got famous off of it. So then I started listening to it.
Yeah.
And wow, I mean, that was incredible. But then I heard Phone Numbers. I don't know if you know that one, produced by Kenny Beats. I love that song. That song's awesome.
Yeah. That was the first song I heard with him.
Really?
And I think I heard it like as soon as it got released. It was on some playlist I was listening to.
Yeah.
I didn't like think much of it. Like I liked the song, so I like put it on my playlist and whatever. But I never like bothered to check the artist for some reason.
Right.
And then I heard what's it called? Chicken Fingers?
Chicken Tenders.
Chicken Tenders?
Yeah.
I heard that one
So
as well.
good.
And I was like, okay, this guy's actually really nice. And then I checked his profile, and it's the same guy
That's
that
what
made
he
Phone
thought.
Numbers. I was like, what? And
That's
then I
right.
started listening to him, and I remember you talked about Cappy.
Yeah.
Because he like was the mix.
He produced-
He mixed 3 Nights.
He
and
produced it too. Yeah.
Yeah. So
bunch
it
of
was like, I think. Yeah, so I was like, oh, that's the guy that I just started listening to.
Right.
Like,
Yeah,
I
that was a
like,
weird.
okay.
I think I kind of vaguely remember that time frame kind of adding up. Yeah, that's cool that happened. Damn. So outside of Dominic, anyone else like?
Let me just go on my Spotify and I can just
Yeah.
find something.
I'll
Because I
share
always
mine,
just
but
forget.
my other would be like, I really love Bazzy.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan. Honestly, like I've probably played his album like the most out of any artist besides the Lumineers. But honestly, like I don't like his albums don't miss. He's got a lot of great sounding songs, and the production, his producer, I think his name's Kevin White, is just so good. Like they make bangers. So yeah, I mean he's definitely known. You know, he's been on the radio and everything. But
yeah. I just remembered Young Lean has like a secondary account on Spotify called Jonathan Lean Doer. And these songs are like, there's really no filter. Like there's really no filter. Just listen to this. And then, there's no auto-tune or anything.
Wow.
Just like, so it's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
That stuff I just love for some reason. Just like hearing, because like when people that, I mean, need autotune don't use it, I feel like it's like such a like, I don't know, just like showing that you don't care what anyone thinks. It's literally just what you want to do.
So that's why I love the Lumineers. That's part of it. He hits, like Wesley Schultz is the lead singer, and he's not, I mean, he's a fantastic singer, but he's not like, you know, they don't make it pitch perfect on everything. He'll have his voice crack on some of them, and it's beautiful. It's like, damn, like they're in the emotion of it, not the, I'm trying to hit every perfect note. Yeah. So, yeah, I agree. Cool. I agree with that. That's really cool. Anybody else on there?
I mean, I can just list them up. I got Black Bear, The Holiday, Prayer, 24K Golden, Frank
popping up.
Ocean.
Big time.
Jeremy Zucker.
He's great.
Vancouver Sleep Clinic.
I remember, yeah. Let's
That
talk
one's
about him,
really
because
nice.
I remember you had sent me his music.
Yeah.
He's cool.
Yeah.
What do you like about him?
I mean, he's just has the best voice. Like, I don't even know. Like, it's just so, like, you listen to it and you just feel, like, cozy and like, nice. He has that kind of voice that's just, like, he can go any pitch as well. He can go so high and still sound so warm, and like, he can go really low and still sound warm. And
That's cool.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And he's a phenomenal, like, songwriter. I remember he made, like, a song that's, like, 8 minutes long or something, and you can just listen to the whole thing, and it's just, you don't get bored at all. It's just always something new happening. And
I have to listen to that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Damn. Any, like, anything else, like, music-wise that kind of just inspired you outside of, like, musicians? I know you had brought up, your first, just, like soundtracks to movies. That was, like, your first one. But, like, anything else outside of that? Like, was there any people who kind of guided you in that right direction, or instrument? Like, what made you do the piano, for instance?
I mean, I think the piano was just because my dad played piano. I mean, my dad plays, like, almost every instrument you can think of. So, like, yeah, he played a lot of piano, and, like, a lot of people in my family did as well. My sister and my mom.
Yeah.
And my grandma.
Oh, wow.
And so, like, the piano was always, there in the living room, and there's a lot of people playing it all the time. And so I guess just when you're little, you just look up to everyone, like all the adults. You just want to do what they're doing.
Right.
So I guess I just eventually started playing the piano, and my dad probably got annoyed with me always using the piano, so he gave me, like, a toy piano.
Right.
That
You still have it, right?
I still have that toy piano. I got it when I was like 6 years old.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Same time you were possessed, right?
Yeah. Maybe the ghost is writing the music for me.
Hey, dude. Wow. That's a weird. I'm gonna write that. Yeah, we'll keep going.
Yeah.
So you got it when you were around 6.
Yeah. And I don't know. My memory is really foggy. I don't remember a whole lot, but I just remember always annoying my siblings with that piano.
Were you good at a young age?
I was decent. I remember I won like a talent show thing in my town.
Wow.
But I mean, there was like 20 kids or something.
Still won.
I got
That's
a pizza.
You got pizza.
Yeah.
That's sick. For playing the piano?
Yeah.
Wow.
I played the Pirates of the Caribbean. So.
Oh. Dang.
Yeah. That was like the first song that I learned, and I remember just playing it over and over, and all my parents, like all my like family members, going insane hearing that song over and over. And I don't even know how to play it anymore. I used to just like I could close my eyes and play it, you know.
Wow.
But I don't know how to play it anymore. It kind of the Hobbit thing from Lord of the Rings kind of replaced it. Now I can play that with my eyes closed. I can only have one song. Can you play the whole song? With my eyes closed, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I remember you had played a snippet of it for me the other day. I'm not a massive Hobbit fan, so I didn't know it, but Wes knew it right away, which is cool.
Hobbit fan.
You guys are Hobbit fans,
Hobbits.
I see.
Yeah. I remember actually I used to love calling myself a hobbit when I was little, because I would walk everywhere with no like shoes or socks or anything.
Interesting.
Like outside, like in the rocks.
Oh wow.
And like, yeah, because I was just I loved Lord of the Rings, and I was like, I want to be a hobbit. So.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. That's funny.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's weird. I like me for like music inspiration, kind of like I felt like it also was passed down. Like my dad's a massive music fan. He has so many CDs, and he would always just have them on wherever we would go, whether it's eating dinner, he would have a CD on all throughout the day. If we go in the car, there's a CD on. So I was just exposed to like the greats, you know, like the Beatles, Bob Dylan, U2, like Bruce Springsteen, like just all these classic music. And I feel like a lot of the music that I listen to now, like the Lumineers, were inspired from back then. So that was one of it. I felt like my dad listened to a lot of songwriting like centered songs that were really based around like telling a good story, kind of Bob Dylan, like insane songs. So I think that was really cool. But also the biggest like person that it's in my field is Scooter Braun. He's the manager of Justin Bieber, Ariana Grande. I mean, so many more. Lil Dicky, you know of Lil Dicky. Dan and Shay, huge country artists like Carly Rae Jepsen. Psy, Psy, the Gangnam Style.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that guy. But yeah, Scooter, dude, he was just like perfect because he's a manager, but he started out in a really cool way. He started out as like a club promoter, and like slowly brought that into like his marketing skills of being able to like get so many people to the club. He brought over to be like I think it was a marketing director for it's blanking on me right now, but a label, and grew the experience through there. But what I loved, he's pretty wise. He also played basketball too, which I play basketball, so like that was really cool. Nice. I just saw like a lot of similarities. But what I loved the most about him was when he like found Justin Bieber. I had like a very similar spark that he did when I had found your music. To be honest, that's why it was so inspiring. He found Justin through YouTube. And like he talks about it in an interview, but he like tracked down this like middle school to us is like, I think like 11, 12, 13 years old age. And he said he called like every school in Canada trying to find like Justin Bieber, and all these people started getting like weirded out. Like, why are you calling about this like 11-year-old or whatever? But then he ended up getting in contact with his mom. And then but what was funny about that is like that's what I felt when I had contacted you from Iceland. I don't remember if I emailed you way back, and like that's what it was like. It felt like I was like, like I gotta track this kid down. He's in Iceland. Like how is that? How is that gonna be possible? And like that kind of come up, and it was just cool to see him. The other thing, the kind of final thing that really inspired me about him was like just the amount of that he kind of put into like each artist that he worked with was really, really cool. He just kind of like never gave up on like the music, he just kind of like let the music do the talking, and then it like let the rest happen. So he's a massive, massive influence, and I'd obviously love to work with like Justin Bieber. I'm sure you would.
Yeah, for sure.
J Biebs.
Yeah, I'm actually a massive Justin Bieber fan.
Yeah.
And like I remember I was, even when it was like lame as hell to like Justin Bieber.
I agree. Same here.
I remember like all my friends just hated him.
He was so easy to hate.
Yeah.
It was so sad.
Yeah, and
kid.
I was here just bumping every like baby just going.
Yeah. Do you know Mistletoe?
Yeah,
Mistletoe,
like
man, best Christmas song ever.
What's that one song he did with some rapper? Like when he was super young.
Yeah, that was I think that was Baby, and Ludacris was on it. That one? Or was it not called Baby? You need a fact check, Jamie?
Baby. That was Baby.
Yeah, it was Ludacris, right?
That was like the big.
That was the big one.
What was like I remember listening to this one song. Let me check.
Yeah, I mean his like journals. I don't know if you listen to journals. He has that song Recovery. I really would love to see Justin go back to like the pure R&B.
Dude, this one.
What's it called? Oh my gosh, Sean Kingston. Wow.
Yes, dude.
I forgot about that.
This stuff was just, I don't know. I loved it.
Dude, no, his album Purpose was like, I love that. I don't know if you listened to that, but the song Purpose is great. Like that's the one with like I'm Not Sorry. Man, that album was a banger. He's cool, dude. He's a legend. Yeah. I think Justin Bieber's a legend. He's young too. He's like got a long career ahead of him, and so that's funny. That's cool. Well, it was good understanding your music knowledge for the night. It's pretty cool. I mean, I knew some of them, but I like the crossovers. I think like some things that we kind of share, like artists breaking the boundaries a little bit.
Yeah.
Not afraid to like be who they are and what they want to be. Like John Bellion, Ed Sheeran, Eminem, Young Lean, X, like all of them.
Yeah.
Just doing what they kind of want to do, not really following under some type of mainstream-esque vibe. So I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
Well, sweet. Well, it was good talking to you.
Yeah, you too.
Talk to you again soon.
Yeah, very soon.
All right. Make sure you sub, like,
Yep.
comment, and follow Ouse for some more content.
Yes.
Peace out, everybody.